Since I was a young boy, I used to dream about having superpowers. I'm here to tell you today that I have them. And so do you. Just like most superheroes who suddenly discover they have powers, most of us don't even know what they are, far less how to use them properly. So I'm here to show you some of the things that we have. But first of all, let's look back at the origins of how it all started. 20 years ago, the European Organization for Nuclear Research and Tim Berners-Lee released the World Wide Web. This is the beginning of the public internet. Tim's great innovation, he allows you to post pictures in text. At the time, he wanted to post a picture to show off what his new technology could do. CERN had a high-energy pop group that was playing at the time, and he took a picture and posted it on the internet. This is the first picture that ever went on the internet. At around this time, this is what technology looked like. TV still had 2 knobs. They had 3 channels. You were forced to watch what people showed you. You couldn't transmit anything. You couldn't produce any of your own shows. You had your VCR. You could tape stuff. You could go to the rental store. You could rent something. But that was the extent of your media choices right there for television. The Motorola Dynatac 8000X, the brick. My father came home with this one day saying it's brand new technology, it'll change the world. I was less than impressed at the time. The Discman, this was the only way that you could get music. Back then, there was no other way other than making it yourself or stealing it off the radio. The console game. These really got popular at this time. Before this, the only way to play a video game was in an arcade. Arcade games were designed to let you live for about 10 minutes, then kill you, so that you could spend more money and try to get as much money out of you as possible. The advent of the console gaming system changed the way that people looked at games, changed the way that game developers designed games. It allowed games to take longer. It allowed you to think more. The computer. At this time, there are no flash drives. Your only external storage right now are those 2 types of floppy disks. Probably you all don't even know what they look like. They don't make those anymore. Look at the price, $2,700 for a 66 megahertz system. They hadn't crossed 100 megahertz as yet. 4 megs of RAM, 120 megabyte hard drive. They don't even sell anything close to that right now. The fastest internet connection you could get, a 14.4 kbps modem. That is 100 times slower than your phone connection right now. 500 times slower than your home connection 20 years ago. PC games look like this. Minecraft, Solitaire, we still have these. Doom, this was the first-person shooter that used the keyboard and mouse as an input control. It was so popular, it's been copied by virtually every single game designer since then. At this point in time, the world looks like 1.1 million websites. And these are mainly from the private people in the universities who are using the internet. Less than 0.4% of the world is on the internet at this point. 16 million people, not much. Then the world changed. People evolved. Technology evolved. As we use technology to create faster computers, people learned to use computers faster. They got faster on the computers and created even faster computers. And through this upward spiral of technology, we arrive at where we are today. 182 million websites. 34% of the world population is now connected on the internet. 1/3 of the entire world. 2.4 billion people. By 2016, this is estimated to go up to 45% of the world. This is a graphical representation of what a Facebook connection looks like for a single person, depending on how popular you are. Everyone is on the internet sharing information. Technology that used to exist in separate bubbles before is now finding a neutral space where they can all meet each other and clash. And what we are realizing out of all these technologies is that dormant abilities are emerging. Technologies are hitting each other and creating new technologies that we didn't even think of. Technology is evolving right before our eyes. External memory is one of the major ones. For the first time, we have memory that can sit outside of ourselves, digital memory. Now, we've had external memory before. We had books and pictures, but digital memory is different, right? If you think about it, if you wanted to share a memory with someone, the only way is to write it down, draw a picture, give it to some people, and the most you can share it with is a few people at a time. The technology allows us to share something an infinite number of times with an infinite number of people. Right? People don't realize that and how powerful this is. Right? There's both physical and virtual memory. Right? The physical memory exists in our phones, in our flash drives. It's all around us today. The virtual memory that people don't even think about is Facebook that can store all of your pictures, Dropbox and SkyDrive that allow for virtual synchronization of online memories. Accelerated learning. We have access to an innumerable number of learning tools. Google happened to become one of them totally by accident. You can type in any question to Google, and it'll give you an answer. It'll probably be wrong, right? But it'll give you so many answers that you can figure out the right thing, right? Wikipedia, one of the greatest online resources. The online encyclopedia, most people say that it's not accurate. You can't rely on it. But I believe it is the only tool that is able to keep up with the pace of technology and the rate at which we are creating information and creating things. I challenge anyone to find a definition of Gangnam Style in any printed encyclopedia. Right. YouTube, we've gone ahead and we've gotten online video. Video is an amazing way to learn things. It's sometimes the only way to learn something. Sometimes words and text just don't cut it. For example, if I wanted to learn how to catch and clean a fish, you can read all the books you want. You'll still suck at it. Right? Khan Academy has taken this one step further. This is a more academic view of using videos. If you're someone who has never had exposure to formal schooling, this is perfect. It gives you algebra, math, social studies, geography. It's an amazing way to get your homeschooling done if you have someone that needs it. Alternate dimensions. Whether you all have realized it or not, we have the ability to traverse different dimensions. We are planeswalkers. We can exist in multiple places at once. People call them video games. But I know better. I know a lot of people who are actually more themselves in one of these worlds than in real life. These games allow us to have social interaction in a safe and controlled environment. What I've realized is that video games basically acting as a test bed for life right now. As young people, you can go on a video game, you can go on an online game, and you can do whatever you want. You can act however you want, and there are no consequences. I've done this and I've learned a number of things about people. You learn about resource management, you learn about teamwork, and most of all, you learn about human interaction and how humans really respond when they're in a place that has no consequences. It's also one of the few places where you can turn your imagination into reality. And it's a much more tangible feeling than in the real world. The same way how sci-fi movies have guided what our technology looks like today, I believe the video games will guide what our technology will look like in the future. Remote minions. It's no surprise, we can remote control any machine that is connected to the internet right now from our phone. I mean, there's a problem with security in between, but you can do it. The technology is there. A few of the greater examples, the remote surgery arm, which someone talked about earlier. A surgeon from any part of the world can dial in, well, not dial in anymore, but he can remote control an arm and perform surgery on anyone, anywhere else in the world. Researchers have found that these robotic arms are actually better than real human arms because they don't shake. When you tell the computer to do something, it does exactly that, and it doesn't make mistakes. The guy in the top right hand there is a handicapped person, and he is testing out some new technology created by China called Flying Buddy 2. What it does is it actually allows someone to remote control a flying drone with their brain. That strange thing you see in the corner there, yep, it's a roach. Someone actually connected a remote control device directly to the roach's motor functions, and presto, remote control roach. This exists today, folks. Controlled telepathy. People don't think about this one. They don't realize that we have invented telepathy. If you had real telepathy, Think about people trying to send you messages. You wouldn't be able to stop them while you're sleeping. People are sending you things and you're like, oh, get out of my head, right? We have something better, right? If we want, we could turn it off. Most people don't, and they still get affected by this. But that's because you all don't know how to use it properly. But you can, right? Right now, we can communicate with anyone, anywhere, at any time. If they're not available, we could leave them a message. Oh my God, wow, right? So many times, my mother has said, oh, well, I need to talk to this person. Oh, but I can't get them. There's a phone. Call them. It's very simple, right? Not only can we communicate with people through voice, all of the media is available through these devices now. All of our video, text, music, everything, right? In the future, all of our devices are going to end up doing the same thing, if you realize right now. Your laptops, your tablets, your phones, your TV, they're all doing the same thing. They're just different sizes. Right now, we're living in an infinite world. We have the power of infinites. We have infinite storage, infinite communication, infinite learning capabilities, infinite connections to other people. We have the power of instance. Everything we can do right now. When I share something with someone, it doesn't take a year to reach everyone. It doesn't take a month to reach 500,000 people. It happens instantly, right? When Sandy hit those countries, they didn't hit them, and we found out 5 months later. It hit everybody in the world at the same time. We have an amazing communication network. We might as well all be connected. And we have the power of others. For the first time, we can put out communication beacons. You can use your blog, you can use Facebook, Twitter, any one of these tools to put out a beacon to find other people who think like you, who share your dreams, who share your ideas, and who will lend you their power to help make those things reality. That's what everyone else has done. We used to live in a world full of questions. Things like, I don't know, I can't, I hate those questions. Now we live in a world full of answers. I never asked, I never tried. Those are the things that we have to think about now. If I wanted to become the world rock, paper, scissors champion, I can do that right now. If I want to learn how to build my own bulldozer in my backyard, I can do that right now. If I wanted to learn how to survive the zombie apocalypse, I can do that. If I wanted to build my own 3D printer, I can go online and order one, and I can have one. I can even have it print out parts to make another one. But if I had one, you know what's the first thing I'd print? Ninja stars. Yeah. In today's world, ignorance is a choice. Saying I don't know is the same as saying I don't want to know. All the information is there. It's just for you to go look for it. You're limited by your own imagination. I've seen people, you ask them to go look for something, and all they can think of is exactly what they've always had in the past, and they believe that the internet is that big, but it's not. Try typing in something you have no idea anything about, that you didn't even think existed. You might be surprised. Your only enemy is nothing. If you sit around and do nothing, nothing will happen. And absolutely nothing is standing in your way to stop you from getting at the information required to achieve anything you want. So I leave you with a few challenges. Ask as many questions as you can. You're living in a world full of answers. Learn as much as you can. All of the information is there, and it is free right now until some smart person decides to come and try to charge you for all of this. Produce as much information as you can. The next generation, it is up to us to produce information and fill in all the gaps. If you find something is missing on the internet, you have the power right now to go and do it. Fill it. Put the information there for the next generation. And share as much knowledge as you can. Once you discover something new, something different, put it online. Share it with everyone. That's what started this whole thing. So now that I've shown you all of these superpowers that everyone has, what are you going to do with them? Thank you.